Hello and welcome to the 2025 ARWS Luxembourg Grand Prix from the Nürburgring. On pole today, for the first time in his career, it's everyone's favorite Dane, Edvard Holm, powered by llamas, for Simpson. Alongside him on the front row, it's Tomo Kazama, who will be hoping for a better outcome than she got last time out at Hirama when she retired very soon after taking the lead. And on the second row of the grid, we've got Martin McCry, who in the dying laps lost a shore podium due to a mechanical issue. He'll be hoping for better luck as well. Someone who will be hoping for the same amount of luck is Phillippe Nicolas, our winner last time out, and the defending winner of this race in the second of the two holidays on the grid. On the third row of the grid, we've got Monaco winner Yaël de Bock for Team Cascadia, alongside the second Simpson, Emma Kickert, who really seems to have lost her edge in qualifying. We'll see if she can make up for the relatively poor qualifying performance in the race. On the fourth row, we've got Marco Jancher for Euromotor alongside defending world champion Takuma Taki in the Scorpio, just ahead of his teammate Anuvozu in the other Scorpio and Bradley Dagnall in the second Euromotor. On row 6, we find Ben Fleet in the second Foxdale. Fleet really doesn't seem to be able to find the same sort of qualifying pace that he was renowned for earlier in his career, but we'll see if he can make up for it with some good race pace today. And speaking of race pace, that is something that Gary Pacer will be wanting to find as well. He's last of the i3 turbos on the grid in 12 for Cascadia. Leading the charge for the W12s, it's Naoki Shinjo for Mecha. Shinjo and Mecha took their first podiums here back in 2023, and the Honda W12 engines definitely seem to be finding their groove here in terms of pace. We'll see if they can actually finish a race. Mecha's still not able to be running at the finish just yet. Another driver who also is desperately looking to be able to finish a race is Katie May in the Jones, and Kaylon, who is starting 15th for Bentley and has indicated he may take a break from the series if he's unable to secure a solid finish in this race today, as he's with a retirement, it would probably signal the end of any championship hopes for him. Malik Zidane will be starting 16th in the second Mecha, just ahead of Nathanael Cameron, who started off the season quite well with a pair of 7th place finishes. He'll be starting 17th. Next to Imani Burrell, who has been quietly picking up quite a few strong finishes in her full season debut. She's got a 5th and a 6th, I think, so far this season. Looking for another strong result today to really put her name forward as a potential title contender for the season. Another driver also looking to burnish his title credentials today will be Václav Malish, who of course picked up a podium last time out at Jarama. He'll be looking for a similarly strong result to make up for his retirement at Monaco. Pierre Saint-Laurent will be starting on row 10 alongside him. And behind on row 11, we've got Alberto Cara in the first of the Yangwangs, who's actually out-qualified Amy Gauthier. Poor qualifying for Gauthier in the checkmate, as they really don't seem to be having too much luck in qualifying pace, but they've the checkmate team has managed to notch some solid results, so we'll see if they can continue that streak here. Fu Wen will be starting 23rd ahead of Akira Yamamura. That's another bit of a turn up for the books here, as Yamamura really struggling to find qualifying pace in that Adriatica to start the season. And on the final row of the grid, as we've already become a little bit used to, I fear, is the Peak Motorsport entries of Aurora Summers and Riley Griffith. Though Griffith there only about 3/10 off of her teammate, so she is starting to get to grips with these ARWS cars, it does look like. But with that, the start of the race is just moments away. Lights on and just awaiting the start of the race, and it's go! It's a fantastic launch for Tomo Kazama, but an even better one for her teammate Phillippe Nicolas, who surges down into the first turn and will take the lead from his teammate. Edvard Holm nudges Kazama out wide, and I think he might be able to retake second place, but it is Nicolas leading from Kazama. Kickert, de Bock, Jancher, Burrell, excellent start up to 7th from Daggle, Vozu, and Ben Fleet. Takuma Taki down to 11th. Gautier, fantastic start for her in the checkmate. And Martin McFry is in all kinds of bother here. He's lost his rear wing. Looks like it may have been contact from behind by Katie May. Trying to see if anybody else might have had damage. No, it looks like it is just for McFry, so it is more bad luck for McFry and the Foxdale team to start this season. But it is perfect luck for Phillippe Nicolas, who looks to continue his fantastically strong start to the season, finishing second at Monaco, even with the last lap dramas, winning in Yorama and leading here on lap 1 at the Nürburgring. And Uvozu here quickly getting around Imani Burrell. Burrell will be a bit of a cork in a bottle here for these I-Frees. Doesn't have the kind of pace that they're able to put up, but her car is a little bit more reliable, of course, so... Oh, goodness, and that is Takuma Taki taking advantage of a mistimed effort there by Ben Fleet to take 10th place. Ever opportunistic is the reigning world champion, and here he comes up. Oh my goodness! Oh, and Burrell really squeezed him out there. But it does not deter the Japanese driver as he takes over 9th position here. And Fleet is through into 10th. As is Yaël de Bock making a move here on Emma Kickert for 4th place. So Yaël de Bock keeping his excellent debut season on track here. So Burrell now down to 12th, but she is still leading the W12s just ahead of Katie May from Zidane Gautier. Excellent start up to 15th. Pierre Saint-Laurent is 16th. Naoki Shinjo 17th. Malish is 18th. Kaelon, terrible start for the German. Winner of this race 2 years ago, he is 19th as Martin McFry finally makes his way back to the pits. Yamamura has cleared the Yangwangs. As, oh my goodness, we've got some dramas here. Something's going on up ahead on the track. Not sure what. So it is Nicolas leading here on the way down to the Dunlop Care. As Holm in hot pursuit as Kazama has spun! Oh my goodness! And that is Emma Kickert has smashed completely into the slide. I think that's both cars out of the race on the spot here. That is indeed Emma Kickert is out. Kazama's engine is still running, and that's one of the Cascadians. Is that Yaël de Bock also in trouble? Oh yes, he's just completely gotten it all wrong. Picked the wrong way. Gotten himself beached on the grass. Now he has to wait for the field to pass him by. Another early drama for Yaël de Bock. He and Kazama try to find a way out of the gravel, and Kazama is still running, it seems, and she will rejoin the race just behind Yaël de Bock, but they are right at the back of the grid here as Edvard Holm has taken the lead. Holm after that poor launch has been really pressuring Nicolas for this lead. The Dane really eager to put on a great show in front of what is the closest thing to a home race for him. Dives up the inside into the chicane and will take over the lead from Phillippe and Nicolas. So home leads now from Nicolas. Marco Jantra is up to third, and Bradley Dagnall is for a fantastic start to this race with Euromotor. Anu Bozu has inherited 5th place. Looks like she went a little bit wide there. Fastest lap for Edvard Holm on lap 2 here. Taki is 6th now from Fleet. Acer Katie May has gotten around Imani Burrell, so Burrell does not seem to have too much in the way of race pace here today. Very vulnerable to a move here by Malik Zidane, and Zidane in the factory Honda. Run by Team Mecha will take over 10th place. I think Burrell could be on a different fuel strategy as Yaël de Bock. Oh my goodness! Yaël de Bock has lost it at the chicane! Oh, that is a devastating lap for the man who is currently 2nd in the Drivers' Championship. He's gotten it turned the right way around, but he will have to make it back to the pits and repair that broken front wing. Holm is galloping away with the lead currently. Ooh, Nathanael Cameron down in 21st. A poor start for Cameron. He's in fact behind both of the young ones and Aurora Summers. Not ideal for Cameron. And Riley Griffith also back there in 22nd. Just to we are expecting a 2 or 3 stop strategy in this race, with the 3 stop window opening up on as soon as lap 10 potentially, with 2 stops at about lap 18, very similar to last year, I believe. Oh no, and Imani Burrell has developed a transmission issue. That must be why she's been losing so many places, that she cannot get it back to the pits, and that is a big blow to Imani Burrell's early title hopes here. Very early retirement is not what she would be wanting to see at this stage. As we see a bit of a queue here forming up behind Pierre Saint-Laurent. Kalon very much wanted to make up for his poor start. He makes a move there on Malish for 14th. As that was Pierre Saint-Laurent defending from Naoki Shinjo into the first corner there. And I think this is Anu Vozu also pressuring Bradley Dagnall for 4th place. Martin McFry has just put in the fastest lap of the race. So McFry eager to make up for that early misfortune at the first corner. Can Vozu make a move here? Indeed she does. Very decisive move up the inside, and Vozu will take 4th place from Dagnall. Her teammate Takuma Taki will be looking to emulate that move very shortly. He is closing up on the Euromotor as well. And I think that looks like it's Marco Jantra closing in a bit on Philippe Nicolas here. So Jantra off to a good start. Looks like Cameron has gotten around. Yes, that's Aurora Summers and Cara as well. Fu Wen, in fact, is leading the charge for the Young Longs. Excellent start for the Chinese driver as Tomo Kazama recovers from her early spin and retakes 18th. So lots of drama early in this race as we've got Naoki Shinjo looking to take 12 from Saint-Laurent into the first quarter here. Not able to really get a move, make a move there into under braking. We'll see what kind of lap Yaël de Bock puts in here in a minute to recover from that disastrous second lap of this race. Could be that pressure is really building on the young Belgian, who is, after that sensational performance, is already considered a major threat for the championship, as we've got Takuma Taki passing Bradley Dacknell for 5th place here. It's a carbon copy of the move his teammate pulled at this corner just a lap ago, and so Taki up to 5th place. Holm has built a 4-second gap over Phillippe and Nicolas in these early laps. We'll see if he can continue to extend that gap on this lap. As Kazama makes another move here, I think that's past, yes, that would be past Aku Yamamura for 16th. And Holm has put another 8/10 into that lead over Nicolas, really pushing to build a gap. He may be on the free stop strategies. Anu Vozu gets it a bit wrong there at the first corner. No harm, no foul for the Estonian. She holds on to 4th place currently, just a second or so ahead of her teammate. But yeah, that is... that could well be Holm on a pre-stop strategy here. Nicolas potentially on the 2-stop strategy, which might explain the pace differential, but we'll have to see exactly when these drivers pit to really confirm that, I suppose. So currently, I think the fastest lap of the race does still belong to Martin McFry, as I think that's Tomo Kazama getting past Malish now. So the second quickest lap belongs to Holm, and the 3rd quickest lap looks like it belongs to... It could belong to Takuma Taki. No, I think it's actually Yaël de Bock, 3rd fastest lap. Currently. Shinjo now makes a move on Pierre Saint-Laurent. He's been eyeing that move up for a little while now and makes it stick for 12th place. Saint-Laurent now completely defenseless against Tomo Kazama, drops to 14th, and with his teammate right on his tail here. It could be that he's not done losing positions just yet. Almost put another second in his gap, almost 6 full seconds over Phillippe Nicolas, so he is eager to make up for his early issues in finishing races, as Lon now makes the move on Saint-Laurent for 14th place. And that is... Ooh, and Martin McFry there, almost getting into, I think that would be Riley Griffith. No, that's Aurora Summers, excuse me, in the peak. Kazama recovers to 12th there, past the mecha of Shinjo. Of course, Shinjo and Kazama, formerly teammates at mecha in 2023. While Shinjo was getting the podium position here, Kazama, I recall making sand castles off the in the gravel trap off the final corners. And Vozu there defending from her teammate Kumataki, so no team orders currently at Scorpio, you would have to say. Let's see if Taki can make a move here into the first corner. Yes, he's got a good slipstream here, very late under braking, and that is Taki taking 4th from from Vozu, sorry. It's Dagnall, Fleet, Pacer, KT May, Zidane, and that is, I think that is Gautier's gotten past Shinjo? Sorry, Zidane? Oh no, that was, she lost the position to Kazama and is now under attack from Shinjo. I mixed up the mech, it's my bad. And this is Martin McFry battling with Fu Wen for 20th place. Able to easily power past the Young Wong down the main straightaway. It looks like Cara's gotten back ahead of his teammate now. Ooh, Yamamura locks it up badly there at the, in the stadium section, and that has gifted Nathanael Cameron 17th place. As they are being bared down on by, I believe that is Alberto Cara, the Young Wong, and Martin McFry in the Foxtail. Indeed, that is McFry making the move for 19th. Ooh, it's Yamamura there again. Seeing exactly what happened to the Adriatica there at the Dunlop care. Yeah, he just got way too deep, got a bit on the out of the groove there, and just losing more and more time. They're really having trouble with the handling on that Adriatic. It does not seem to be to their liking. You're doing a good job so far, hanging on just about a second or so behind Nicolas. Might be carrying a bit less fuel in that Euro motor, but still it's a very encouraging result so far. Looks like Shinjo has gotten around Amy Gauthier for 12th, Lon now bearing down on the French woman for 13th. Malish is up to 15th, having gotten around Saint Laurent. Now McFry looking to take 17th from Cameron. Indeed, he does do that just a corner later. I think that is Tomo Kazama battling with Zidane for 10th place. Despite that early spin, she has been able to quickly shake off any oh my goodness, and Shinjo there, Zidane, sorry, really forcing her out almost onto the grass, but Kazama does seem to be keeping her head on her shoulders and not losing it, so to speak. But she is having a lot of difficulty trying to find a way past this mecha. Fortunately,
now, would you say the Nürburgring is difficult to pass on, or you wouldn't say so?
No, not really. It's been quite...
And we see Pacer.
Yeah, that is Gary Pacer. Looks like a mechanical issue for the Cascadia, and it's a water leak in the Ford power plant. So that is Pacer, our first mechanical retirement. Of course, we have lost already Imani Burrell and Emma Kickert due to the crash earlier at, I think it was the second lap of the race. But yeah, no, the Nürburgring hasn't been difficult to see a lot of passing. There are several overtaking spots. The first corner, there's also the Michelin curve, which we're just seeing Takuma Taki go through now. We've seen a couple of overtakes there. Potentially you could make a move up into the chicane here at the end of the lap. So plenty of opportunities to make moves. We might be seeing one in the coming few laps here, as Taki does definitely seem to be closing in on Yantra and Nicolas for second and third.
I mean, this may be battle for second for now. Like, Holm's already basically flown off and hasn't looked back. Taki's clearly, as a child defender, is going to try to prove his points back after being shown up by some other drivers in his first couple races.
Yeah, it's not gone to plan for Taki in his first couple races of title defense. Meanwhile, ooh, goodness, that is Katie May's gone off at the chicane. She rarely put a wheel wrong in her very short ARWS career. Has shown sensational pace, but yeah, she just got it a bit overcooked at the chicane and spun off.
Yeah, no, some rookies got caught out last year in that same sector. That track is somewhat deceptive.
It is.
Like Malik Sedano spun a couple times last year.
Oh, and we've got another car off. That's Riley Griffith. Riley Griffith in the peak is out. Not sure exactly what happened to her. Yaël de Bock just got past her. Oh goodness, she got it all wrong. All wrong through the Schumacher.
No, she's out. She lost a wheel. She is out of the race.
That car is not going any further, and Riley Griffith is out of the race. Katie May
trying to get back on.
Her engine is still running, but she is going to have to wait for all of these cars to get past before she could rejoin the race. And now, there's waiting for Aurora Summers. Oh my goodness! Oh no! And that's Yaël de Bock. And that is going to take Yaël de Bock out of the race. Oh my goodness! What happened there?
Yeah, that's a tricky spot because they're coming up. They're picking up speed coming in that corner.
So that is Yaël de Bock into the chicane here, and May has decided to rejoin. And oh, they didn't actually make contact. It was a trick of the light, perhaps. I don't. Okay, I don't know why that. Yeah, it was a trick of the light.
Classic GP2.
Like, someone turn off the chat. Someone turn off the cloud if that's still on.
So they didn't crash. What?
I guess
someone stopped using generative AI someone's using generative AI on the broadcast feed.
No. Under no circumstances. Anyway, Yantra's caught Nicolas for second. Nicolas must have had a poor lap there, but Yantra's taken over second place. So Yantra on a very fantastic start to this race, although he's really not got much for in the way of an answer to Edvard Holm, who is now 13 seconds up the road as Aurora Summers has spun. It's a disastrous couple of moments for Peak. Riley Griffith has just crashed out, and now Aurora Summers, after losing the place to Yaël de Bock. Funnily enough, Yaël de Bock just got around Griffith when Griffith crashed out, and now Summers spins off after losing a position to de Bock.
This cars really do not like going off track here. Like, the cars sort of come apart going off into the grass.
Anu Vozu has pitted. And that is, I believe, that's Ben Fleet also pitting with her. So that is both of them on the freestyle strategy, pitting quite early here.
Vosu being the faster driver here. John Moore seems to be having difficulties in qualifying, staying ahead of the likes of the Yang Wangs for some reason.
Oh, Vozu's in the Scorpio. I think you're meaning...
sorry, I'm mistaken. That was Burrell is in the other car. I'm still thinking of last year.
Yeah. 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 I'm not sure what's going on with Yamamura because they're just really struggling for pace out there, just running behind both of the Yang Wangs even.
Well, they switched I know they switched engines, but they should be similar in performance. Not
Oh
like
no,
Mecha,
and Amy
which
Gautier's also spun at the chicane. A lot of drivers having trouble at this chicane. She's
a lot
lost
of drivers,
the front
a lot
wing.
of rookies having trouble with that last sector for some reason.
Well, it's not rookies so much as, well, I mean, Gautier's not a rookie, it's her second season, but... I'm sure there's somebody else who spun there, I can't remember who. There's a lot that's happened early in this race. So
Yeah, pretty
Summers,
awful showing for Peak, which they only really have Yang Wang in terms of outright pace to compete with, but clearly they're having some issues they're working out still.
So that is... So, it's, no issues for Edvard Holm, though, who is just really enjoying life. Flying away with the lead.
Question is, though, that car finishes the race. That's the eternal question for the Dane.
Oh, and Taki's gotten around Nicolas, so Taki making a move into the chicane. Nicolas not putting up much of a fight there, but yeah, that's... Nicolas has... after that sensational start from Nicolas to jump into the lead, he's been relegated down to 4th now. Bradley Dagnall still running relatively well in 5th, only a couple of seconds behind Nicolas.
I mean, we're still gauging how fast the Scorpio is the other new team. I'll see everyone's eyes have been on Cascadia with their spectacular start to the season, but Scorpio with Taki, they're obviously going to be trying to fight for wins and the title from the get-go.
Yeah, that is, they are very adamant about fighting for the championship, and Bozu currently running just ahead of Tomo Kazama. Kazama, of course, recovering from that second lap spin.
Yeah, they're hoping Cascade has been just a flash in the pan, because it looks like that car is faster than the Scorpio for now, but also I would say they have the better drivers. Scorpio's the better driver pairing, I would say.
Prix is in currently, after recovering from his early issues. That was an odd corner entry from Fu Wen, and the Prix comes out just ahead of KT May, who is just ahead of Akira Yamamura. Like Bozu is starting to get Kazama on those fresh tires. Good run for the Mechas so far, though. They are currently running 9th and 10th, and KT May is now out. Oh my goodness, it's been a disaster.
Like in the first sector, looks like the first...
For KT May. Oh, she just crashed into the barrier, got it all wrong in the arena.
Did she lose steering? Not sure what happened there.
No, that was just driver error by KT May. It's a disaster start to her ARWS career. Cannot seem to be able to finish a race. And somebody has gone off. That's Fu Wen! Oh my goodness, it's been nothing but drama. And I don't know what Fu Wen was doing here. He just got it all wrong and spun off.
Well, he has a front wing down. Hopefully he can get that car back to the pits, unlike all these other drivers who are bidding it and can't get it back up the track.
I want to take another look here because I'm not entirely sure what Fu was doing. That is the
driving erratically for the last lap or so.
Weirdest corner entry I've seen in my life. Well, Yamamura will be happy about that at least. One less car that they have to pass.
I think Alberto Cara's teammate is not. Hopefully, just isn't gonna. Hopefully, there's not the same problems in his car gonna develop.
I'm not sure. Oh my goodness, a Ben Fleet is out! Transmission failure for the Foxtail. It's all happening here at the Nürburgring.
A very attritional race, even more so than last year.
Yeah, very.
Not sure what they're putting the gravel there. They are shredding the wings and the suspension of these vehicles. Not sure what's happening.
Well, they are built for speed, not durability. These ARWS cars are. That definitely seems to be the case in this race because we're already down to just 20 cars running after 14 laps.
I mean, Fuen's been on thin ice as is with his signing, so that's not the kind of performance you want to be seeing from the Chinese works team.
To be honest, I was surprised that they re-signed Fu because
De Bock coming. This is for position with Alberto Cara.
yeah, De Bock recovering after an early spin. Cara getting a bit wrong there. But yeah, I was surprised to see that Yang Long re-signed Fu Wen because the Chinese driver did have a nasty habit of crashing into his teammate last season.
So far he's avoided that, but clearly his pace still needs some work if he wants to stick around for the long term. So they did sign some more Chinese reserve drivers who may be potential replacements.
Bradley Dagnall is pitting from 5th position. After a couple of questionable performances by Dagnall to start the season, he's actually done quite well to start this race. Fu Wen has made it back to the pit with his broken front wing. So that's Vozu and Kazama going past Dagnall into 5th and 6th now.
Or at least Fu Wen managed to get the car back to the pits, unlike a lot of these other drivers.
So is McFry there getting past Cara, but Holm has just been driving away as Cameron has...
No, that's
Cameron broke his front wing on... Went a bit wide there onto the curb and broke his front wing, so...
These curbs have been nasty today. They
aren't there to be used, evidently. So, disastrous race for Jones. Both of their drivers in trouble. That is the Bock now making the move on Saint Laurent for 12th.
I keep confusing. The checkmates
also
switched.
Oh no! Takuma Taki is in trouble!
Apparently not even the defending champion is safe from the runoff here.
Oh. Looks like Nicolas caught back up to him. And he looks like a car just understeered off. Very uncharacteristic mistake for the reigning world champion, but he's off at the gravel now and has to try and recover.
Oh my God.
He keep his wing and suspension intact. That's the big question. As his teammate Vozu comes by.
And that is Kazama through as well. Yeah, he's going to have to wait and...
there's some cars coming up.
Yeah, he might have to stop there for a bit as the mechas come through now. And
there's a big gaggle of cars coming up now. He has to wait for some more.
Oh my goodness. Marco Jantra, meanwhile, is pitting for Euromotor. They're up to 2nd place in this race. That will be... Nicolas takes over 2nd currently, but I think Jantra should be able to hold on to 3rd place. It looks like Taki is still stuck in the gravel there. Indeed, Jantra holds on to position ahead of Vozu. Taki is still in the gravel. What are you doing?
So he's going the wrong way.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think the rate going to be spoiled for choice for reject of the
at least
race.
he's pointed the right way. Let's see if he can just put the throttle down. He's already down to like...
Yeah, he's lost the entire lap because that's Phillippe Nicolas going around him again.
Oh.
What are you doing, Takuma? He's just driving the wrong way. Goes Jantra and Vozu.
I know Scorpio's leader is rather colorful type. I'm pretty sure he'll have some words for talking after the race.
Yes, I imagine so. This is not what Hank Scorpio or Kane Redgrave would be wanting to see from their world champion. Cara has pitted meanwhile, so Cara also on the 3-stop strategy, it would seem. So, we've got Holm leading by 25 seconds over Phillippe Nicolas. Yoncher is about 40 seconds behind after having made his first pit stop. Bozu now in 4th place. Then it's Kazama. And Daggle Taki finally makes it back to the pits.
Is this a routine stop? I don't see any damage.
Yeah, I believe this is a routine stop. It's just very ill-timed. As the Bock I think something happened here.
They may have went wide for when we weren't looking. Lost some speed.
Oh no, it was McFry had passed Malish. I knew I saw a position change here on the running order. But at this stage, it does seem that Edvard Holm is on back on the 2-stop strategy, so this is going absolutely perfectly for the Simpson team. As the Bock now challenging Kalon for 9th place.
At this point, it's just can you survive? Because apparently it's easier said than done today to keep the car in one piece.
Indeed, it's a real race of attrition already.
You see battle position to Bock, and I think that's one of the...
That's Lon.
In the Kahama.
Yeah, Lon getting past the Bentley into 9th place. Not too far ahead of him are the Mechas. Sedan and Shinjo, 7th and 8th.
Yep.
Nicolas now putting a lap on Amy Gauthier. Taki's just passed Fuwen for 19th. So I think the last 4 drivers here, Gauthier, Summers, Taki, and Wyndham, all had significant issues in this race. Cara's pitted once already. Cameron's lost his front wing. Yamamura's just lost any semblance of pace. So yeah, I think we've only got about 14 drivers. Well, even less than that, because McFry, Bock, and Kazama have all had their own issues. So very few drivers have had a trouble-free race so far. And we're only on lap 18.
There's a very large, cluster of cars going through Sector 1 now. That could be an issue for Holm or anyone else trying to lap.
That is Taki, Bock, Fuwen, Martin McFry, Kalon, Vasla Malish, Solaron, and Holm not too far behind.
He's gonna run in this train before long, so he's gotta be careful.
He'll probably have to pit before then, to be fair. Oh my goodness, this is that's poor timing for Tomo Kazama there.
We're supposed to take advantage and putting the car between her and the holiday car.
Yeah. So Kazama's pursuit of Anuvozu for 4th place interrupted a little bit there. Holm now with a 27-second advantage up front.
That should be enough to keep him in the lead if he pits, assuming he doesn't get caught up in traffic.
Yes. Oh, Shinjo and Zidane there. Oh, that would be because Zidane has just pitted from 7th position. So both of the mechas on the 2-star strategy. So this is excellent race pace they've been showing in this race. Definitely showing off the power of the Honda W12, even if they've yet to show the reliability so far.
He'll be following Holm through this train. He's usually at the tail end of this massive train. Things seem to have settled down as we come up to the 1/3 mark of this race.
Yes, good opportunity for us to catch our breath after one of the most eventful starts to a race I've seen. Nicolas really just does not seem to have any answer for Holm's pace in the early stages of this race. He's nearly half a minute behind the Simpson driver. They can't be running too much different fuel loads. This is just a case of the Simpson being absolutely hooked up to this track, as that is lapping one of the young ones. And we've got someone pitting. It's Edvard Holm from the lead of the race, right at the 1/3 mark. Looks like it might be a shorter middle stint for the Dane. A lot of Danish fans in the crowd here, and a lot of, just in general, Edvard Holm fans, as Yamamura is also pitting, the sole remaining Adriatic in this race. So that is Holm there. Yeah, very cleanly out ahead of Phillippe and Nicolas. And Tomo Kazama has gotten around Anu Vozu here. The patience has paid off for the Japanese driver. There's really nothing that Vozu can do in a straight line there. Holiday just too quick. And Kazama takes over 4th place. She still hasn't pitted so far in this race. So she's still got those tires that she spun on earlier. This has been a fantastic case of managing the race for the one-time ARWS winner. Of course, she won in her rookie season back in 2016 and hasn't since. Has really struggled to establish herself through just not quite finding the stability she needs in a team, and but it does seem like she's meshing very well with the Holiday team. So I think that second win might be coming sooner or later for her. Gautier's gone off. And she's broken her front wing again. Oh goodness, this is a disaster race for Gautier.
Maybe we'll keep taking that those 2 corners. I've been having difficulty keeping it on the track.
It's pretty much the same thing that Cameron did, is Nicolas negotiates lap traffic and hits.
He's probably on track for a 2-stop then.
I think that is, yeah, Gautier now coming in again. in 9.8 seconds, send him back out onto the track. And that's going to be in 6th place, so he's going to be behind Dagnall, Vozu, and Kazama here. But they all need to make one more pit stop relative to Nicolas at this stage of the race. Also means that Marco Jancher is now up into 2nd place as to Bock here challenges Shinjo as... Oh no! Home wide!
Keep it on the truck, guy.
Yeah, he's kept it on the track. Oh goodness, that was a bit of a scare there for Edvard Holm. I've seen too many times him lose fantastic results due to just basically anything, as Fu Wen is off.
That's mechanical failure.
That is a mechanical failure. That's a transmission failure for Fu Wen in the Yangguang. That is very I think that's actually the first mechanical retirement we've seen from a Yangguang. So he pulls off the track at the first corner. I suppose if it's going to happen to anybody, they would prefer it to happen to Fu Wen rather than Alberto Cara. And Tomo Kazama has now made it into the pits. After a solid recovery drive in this first stint, she made it all the way back up to, I think it was 3rd before she's made this pit stop. She will rejoin the race in 6th place. Summers is also pitting. And this is Naoki Shinjo making his first pit stop of the race. Be interesting to see where he comes out relative to Zidane. Not too far behind his teammate. In fact, there goes Kaelon. I think now Shinjo will have jumped his teammate here, in fact. So good performance on the overcut by Shinjo. He's jumped past Malik Zidane into in the intra-team battle. Nicolas passed Dagnall for 4th there. Will now be setting his sights on Anu Vozu in the Scorpio for 3rd place. Shinjo now pressuring Saint Laurent for 11th place. Might have been thinking about a move there into the Michelin curve, but electing not to. As Yaël de Bock makes a pit stop here. It's gone very late into the window here. Should be rejoining race in 8th place. As Lawn is pitting. Malish pits, and Shinjo all over the back of Saint Laurent looking for that position. The Laurent rejoins in 8th, Saint Laurent takes over 9th. But Shinjo wants that position very much at this stage. Nicolas, meanwhile, has caught Anu Vozu for third. Ooh. Very late dive there by Shinjo. Excellent move on the Canadian driver to take over 9th place. Very decisive. And I think we've got Nicolas now making a move on Vozu for 3rd place. Vozu doesn't put up too much of a fight. They're on different strategies at this stage of the race. I think Yoncher's on the pre-start strategy, so it is going to be interesting to see if who comes out on top in that fight between Nicolas and Yoncher. Currently, I think it is Nicolas looking at 2nd place, but Yoncher could still have enough of a pace advantage. Oh, Solaron's lost his front wing. I think it's the same thing as we've seen a couple of times already with Cameron and Gauthier. He's just gone wide in the Michelin curve. Ooh. Very tricky corner, and loses his front wing in the bargain. Taking a look at the fastest laps now. Prix still has the fastest lap, only just over Edvard Holm. I think it's Kazama. No, it should still be the Bock with the 3rd quickest lap. Actually, it looks like Taki's taking over the 3rd quickest lap with 1:36.719. Roush, meanwhile, doing his usual bit of soldiering on and really just staying out of trouble, keeping up a solid pace whilst also not really pushing too hard. About 5 seconds behind Lon, about 4th in the running of the W12. Looks to be picking up a solid full points here. We are getting closer and closer to the halfway mark in this race. Nicolas just put in a personal best of 1:37.42. It is actually, yeah, about 0.8 of a second quicker than Yoncher on that previous lap. Not sure when Yoncher's due in. It should be quite soon, actually, so, will be interesting to see how that, tire, that tire advantage works itself out for Yoncher's. Solorant takes 14th from Cara. Very aggressive move out of that corner by Martin McFry to put, I think that's Gauthier, another lap down. Saint-Laurent now pressuring Nathanael. Camera 13th. Really no defense there put up by Cameron there. I think his tires are quite a bit older than Saint-Laurent's, who's of course just had to make another pit stop. In fact, Cara was nearly a full second quicker than Cameron on that previous lap. Cameron really struggling out there at the moment. It seems that the Jones just isn't quite set up to the driver's liking around this very tricky circuit. Zidane and Shinjo just swapped positions. That would be because Naoki Shinjo has a transmission failure. Oh, that's 5 retirements now for Mecha in the first 3 races of the season. You know, Honda's showing a lot of good pace in this race, but not any reliability for Mecha. And Shinjo once again, a sensational race he's been driving. But it's all gonna amount to nothing. Rosa hasn't actually dropped as much time to Nicolas as I would have expected. She's only about 4 seconds behind Nicolas. Of course, she does still need to make 2 more pit stops, but it is, given the tire differential, I would have expected her to have been losing a lot more time as Kazama has gone off at the chicane. Ooh, just overcorrected there. Had a bit of a slide and overcorrected as... Ooh.
Tricky spot. Just people are going to be coming to a stop pretty quickly. That was much fast. There was a pretty fast recovery from the Japanese driver.
Yeah.
Or not. Oh what?
Yeah. She's
okay, there
back going again. All things considered, that could have gone much worse for her. But she has lost, I believe, position to Prix there. Oh no, and Anu Vozu has an engine failure at the Scorpio. The Koenigsegg power plant has had enough, and a very solid drive by the Estonian is going to amount to nothing.
We'll see if we can make it.
No, I don't think there's any fixing this.
Yeah, okay, there, just gone on.
Completely cuts out, and that's it for Vozu's race. Again, it's another very disappointing retirement for the Estonian, who's had entirely too much of those in her ARWS career to date.
And how many cars are left running? We have to be like less than, are we approaching half at least?
17 cars still running.
Okay, we still have a side.
Oh no, and Marco Jancher! Oh, this is devastating for Euromotor!
This wheel.
A loose wheel for Marco Jancher is taking him out of an almost certain podium. Oh, that's heartbreaking for Jancher. He's driven an absolutely fantastic race. Holm has spun! Edvard Holm has spun!
Let's see.
This race is
Has it-
cocaine.
Oh!
Are we sure there's not oil on the track there or something?
Corner.
Everyone keeps going off there. Well, let's see.
He,
Looks like minimal damage.
There's
Minimal
no
damage, I hope.
to Holm. And he holds on to the lead. It's going to be a bit of a diminished lead over Phillippe Nicolas now in second place. But
12 seconds, or we gotta wait for the interval?
no, it's going to be a lot more than 12 seconds. The 12 seconds there is relative to Jancher. It was 40 between Holm and Nicolas last time by. But after that, I mean, Holm, despite that spin, will continue to lead. He lost about, I'd say, about 7 seconds on that previous lap.
Yeah, it could have been much worse. There have been some much worse recoveries from the spin.
Indeed. Phillippe Nicolas will now retake second place, and in third, by doing absolutely nothing, it's Bradley Dagnall in third now.
Hope you're more hoping the other car can hold on. He's blapping one of the young ones, and have to wait for this other.
Martin McFry is now in fourth place after losing his rear wing on the first lap. Tomo Kazama, after spinning twice, is now fifth. Yaël to Bock, after a couple of spins of his own, is now in sixth. Leaks Don up to seventh. Very solid drive by the Egyptian. Kalon running well in eighth. If he can, I imagine he'll probably want to keep doing the rest of the season if this drive is anything to go by, but of course he still has to finish. Malish is up to ninth. Pierre Saint-Laurent now in 10th place. Nathanael Cameron in 11th. Cara is 12th. Taki's only 13th. But he is, I imagine, catching Cara and Cameron quickly, so he could be up for covering a few more positions soon. But it's a disastrous day so far for the reigning world champion. Yamamura is 14th on just dismal pace for Yamamura in the Adriatica. Really does not seem to have found an answer to Imani Burrell in the other car. Amy Gauthier, after having a couple spins herself, is now in 15th. And the last car running is now Aurora Summers in 16th. Yes, there are only 16 cars still running. As we've got Dagnall making his second pit stop of the day. Cara following in. So, second of 3 stops for Bradley Dagnall.
Do we have anyone on the one-stop strategy, or no?
No, there's no one stopping. McFry will take over third place temporarily here before he has to pit himself. Ooh, that's not ideal for Tomo Kazama.
A bit of a crowd over here.
Yeah, a bit of a roadblock there in turn 1. Able to get around both of them in a pretty nifty effort there around the outside of turn 2. Holmo continues to utterly dominate this race. 36.7 seconds ahead of Nicolas despite that spin. That's Yaël de Bock getting around Yamamura, putting a lap on the Adriatica. No real on-track battles as such currently. So Taki's been elevated up into 12th place after Cara's pit stop. Still trying to chase down Cameron for 11th. Lon does seem to be catching up to Zidane for 7th place, so that could be a battle to keep your eyes on. We've got Taki now into the pits.
So after that spin, he's recovered to 12th so far.
Yeah, so they'll probably be dropping back down to 13th. As there goes Cara through.
Possibly 14? No.
Yeah, that is Yamamura going through. Imagine Taki will quickly get back around both of these drivers.
He's at the tail end of some traffic over here. We have a yellow flag in sector 2.
Yellow flags.
That's one of the Bentley Saint Laurent.
Yeah, I think this is Saint Laurent. Transmission failure.
Yeah. Well, at least they put it aside in a quick manner.
Yeah, very dutifully pulling off to the side of the road is Saint Laurent with a transmission failure.
At least they're not leaving in a stretcher this time. They had some pretty awful, it crashes last season.
Yeah, it was only the one time he was injured, but oh, we've got another. Yaël de Bock is spun again!
Yeah.
Oh goodness, just
overcommitted,
it, lost his front wing, and now it's stuck in the middle of the track.
That's a bad spot. As Cara comes by, I'm sure he'll be happy. Taki just past Yamamura.
And Yamamura.
Another check.
Yeah, the field taking a very careful.
His home laps her now.
Yeah.
It's spun around. There's no one around, so he's able to get back up on the track.
Indeed, but that's going to pretty much curtail any hope he has of finishing ahead of the likes of Kazama or Dagnall or McFly.
But he lost his front wing again, so he is fast, but he still has some learning to do.
Yeah, just pushing too hard, probably feeling a bit of a pressure as Nicolas looks like picking up another very solid podium position here if he can bring the car to the finish. It's always an open question in ARWS, particularly with the i3 power plants, but Nicolas has been metronomic to start this season, to say the least. Bock makes it back to the pits. He isn't too far away from making his pit stop anyway, and I think they are fueling him up for the end of the race here. So it should be Yaël de Bock's last pit stop of the day, as Zidane here go through into 6th place and Lon takes over 7th. Imagine both of them still have to make another pit stop though. As Taki now getting back around Alberto Cara, taking over the 11th position. And I think that is... No, that's Martin Fry making his way into the pits.
They're past the halfway mark now. Oh. Yeah, so these stops will be like longer stints then, if these are 2 stops.
Yeah. Actually, no, this is right at the end of the second stop of the 3-stop strategy, so McFry still got one more to do. We'll come back out onto the track in 5th place.
It's like a young one.
Yeah, just behind Cara and Taki. So Kazama up to 4th. Bradley Dagnall reassumes 3rd place. Really hasn't done anything today. And that's very surprising considering the amount of driver errors we've seen, and Dagnall hasn't made one of them. I think
Dagnall is a Formula 1 vet, so he does have more experience than his being 2nd season is let on. So
I mean, yes, but it's also Bradley Dagnall. He's not known for being a good driver. He's known for getting by on his last name.
He's known for being slow. He's not known for being erratic or dangerous on track, at least.
I mean, he was very erratic and dangerous on track the first 2 races this season. But,
as long as he's keeping it cool here was what we need for today.
Only people who haven't made a mistake so far: Edvard Holm, Bradley Dagnall, Malik Zidane, Kaelon, Václav Valish, and Alberto Cara. I think. And Aki Yamamura. Everybody else has made a mistake. I think as far as Edvard Holm's concerned, everybody else made a mistake turning up to this race because he is, Oh wait, no, he did make a mistake. He spun, but he's still leading by 40 seconds, basically.
Shows how fast he's been in that first, third of the race. Because he was, he took off like a shot in the first couple of laps.
Well, once he retook the lead after his poor start, he very much just sailed off into the distance, and I don't think anybody's seen it since. Except for when he's come around to lap them. This is the
Bock's trying.
Oh goodness, that was a
little dicey trying to pass the Bentley.
Yeah, the Bock very aggressive move there. On the back straight, on the run up.
So I believe Law announced this is his final season in ARWS.
It could be. I'm not certain. He might take a break and make another attempt next season if this season doesn't pan out. He's been demoted back to 8th by the recovering Yaël de Bock. Still on course for solid points.
Another driver we haven't really seen much, Václav Malish is up to 9th, so a decent haul if he can keep that car going.
Yeah, Malish has had a similar race to Dagnall, except you'd expect this of Václav Malish, of course, the driver of the year last year, and very much expected to play some sort of factor into the Drivers' Championship.
Malish going a little wide.
As he goes wide there at turn 3, but he was about, 20 seconds ahead of Nathanael Cameron, but it does hurt a little bit his hopes of catching up to Lon and Zidane.
This is for position to Bock on Zidane. I believe this is for position.
Yes. As Edvard Holm now makes his second and final pit stop of the day.
He's gonna have some clear air, so this is gonna be payoff in dividends for him. He's gonna have clear air.
Expertly timed by the Simpson crew. Nicely fueled up to the end of the race. As I think that is the Bock getting past Zidane up into 6th place. Taki really getting on with it in his hopes of trying to recover as many points as possible. I think currently, without any more retirements, the highest he could possibly finish is 7th. I don't see him catching up to Bock, even with the Bock vehicles. But it will be tough for him to... he's currently about half a minute behind Malish, but I think there should be enough pace in the Scorpio Koenigsegg for him to make up that difference. This is Dagnall putting a lap on Nathanael Cameron. Now Cameron getting lapped by Tomo Kazama. Kazama trying to chase down Dagnall for that final podium slot. Nicolas now 16 seconds behind Holm after Holm's final pit stop. Nicolas still needs to make one more. Fast lap Malish makes a pit stop here. From 9th place. I think this is Nathanael Cameron coming in as well, behind him. Indeed it is. Cameron pits from 10th. And Taki breezes past up into 9th place. Still got a bit of clean air to work with here, does the reigning world champion. Still needs to make one more pit stop though. That is McFry negotiating his way past Malish.
John Moore comes in.
Yep,
I think
sorry?
someone else was coming in one of the holidays. I think it's Cameron.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
Nicolas.
is Nicolas coming back in. This will be your final pit stop for Phillippe Nicolas. So, Nicolas will very safely hold on to 2nd place here. As Dagnall is now having to contend with Tomo Kazama, who wants that final podium spot. Both of these drivers still have one more stop to make, so this is an even fight. Ooh, Dagnall very late with the defense there into the first corner. Kazama's going to have to wait for a better opportunity. Could she make the move here into this corner? No, not feeling quite comfortable enough on the brakes. Probably next opportunity would be the Dunlop care. This hairpin at the end of the circuit. No, still not quite comfortable. Diagonal able to defend the position for now. And now Kazama makes a move into the Michelin curve. Ooh. Had a bit of a moment there mid-corner, but Kazama's got the move done, and she's up to 3rd place. Considering she's spun twice, this is a pretty impressive recovery drive.
And this will be, if this holds, it'll be a very strong surge of points for Team Holiday.
Indeed, as we've got Kalon into the pits from 8th place. Bit of a weight on the fuel there, but he should maintain that 8th spot. There goes Kazama and Dagnall. So Long comes back out after his final pit stop ahead of Taki, who still has one more pit stop to make, so it is going to be difficult for Takuma Taki to make up all that kind of ground on the German here. Not to mention the fact that he's about to get lapped by Martin McFry in the Foxtail. As Cameron has just put the move on Cara for 11th place. So, Holm and Nicolas made their final pit stops. Kazama and Dagnall still have to pit. McFry is 8 seconds back of Dagnall. And he also has to pit again. Zidane is just coming in. I believe this should be his final pit stop of the race.
He's just hoping that car holds on, because he's been having atrocious reliability in his time in ARWS for Team Mecca.
Well, they seem to have gotten it sorted at the tail end of last season, but I think the new Honda engine is throwing up a lot of curveballs for Mecca. But
seems more powerful than the Bentleys, but they clearly need to hammer out that reliability.
Yeah,
In fact, they have a new fuel supplier with Repsol, their longtime MotoGP sponsor.
No, you're thinking of Adriatica. Not sure who supplies fuel for Mecca, but in any case, the Dawn comes out just ahead of...
Well, Pertamina is at least... It could be rebadged fuel for Pertamina. That's a thing we see in Formula 1. So I assume they still have Pertamina, Indonesia National Oil, as their main fuel supply sponsor.
In any case, so yeah, the Bock is pretty much off by himself. Yeah, he's made his final pit stop, but he's basically locked into that position as Gautier makes her second and final pit stop of this race, running down in 13th place.
She had a rather quiet run after that spin earlier.
Yeah, I don't really see her catching up or doing anything about Alberto Cara, but she comes out and loses 13th to Aki Yamamura. This is a straight fight between these two.
Bit embarrassing that I shouldn't say that Alberto Cara is probably one of the fastest drivers in the sport right now, but the fact that they can't seem to catch up to that low-powered Yang Wang.
Yeah, they've got
Cara
still needs to make one pit stop. Scar's still, yeah, because he's on free stop strategy. He needs to make one more pit stop. So it's not over for them to get back past the Yang Wang. See if Gautier can get around Yamamura on these fresh tires.
think on paper she should be able to get around the Japanese.
Makes the move decisively under braking at Michelin curve and takes back 13th. Kazama's put 4 seconds between herself and Bradley Dagnall, so she looks intent on securing that 3rd place. It would only be her 3rd podium in her ARWS career. She had, of course, her win at Mexico for Kahama. I believe she finished 3rd for Fusion in 2018, the Chinese Grand Prix. And not since then has she been on the podium.
That's not position. Finally
Lapping. Gets around Takuma Taki here. As Summers is now making her final pit stop. Kazama's in. So this will drop her down to 5th place, but I believe she'll be coming back out in clear air. So this will be a good opportunity for the holiday driver to really secure her hold on that 3rd place if she can just put in some quick, clean laps. It does seem now that the drivers have sort of gotten worked in a bit of a rubber groove here. That they've we've seen a lot less mistakes, I'm meaning to say, than in the second half of the race so far. Than we saw, especially very early on.
I'm still not quite sure what that was. There was like oil on the track or something.
Yeah, there was a bit of rain overnight, which washed away a lot of the rubber that was built up on the track. It could just be that the cars were very finely set up for those conditions, as we see Takuma Taki take 8 from Lon there. It looks like, yeah, very finely tuned setups. And once the rain washed the rubber away, there was a lot less grip out there on this racetrack. That might have been causing a lot of the issues we've been seeing. I'm not sure Lon really has the pace here to catch up to Zidane. We'll see in a minute.
Taki still has to clear the Egyptian driver first.
Yeah, well,
that's gonna happen before long.
Taki still needs to pit again anyway, so he's not really in this battle.
He'll want to get past and get that clear air, but also you want to make the most of your light fuel load.
Prix is catching Dagnall about a second a lap currently. Not sure if he'll catch Dagnall before they both have to pit, but it could be a battle to keep our eyes on once everything gets sorted out.
Does Cameron need to... Cara said still needs to pit, right?
No, Cameron's made his final pit stop.
Oh, Cara. No, sorry, Alberto Cara needs to...
Yeah, Cara needs to pit again.
So no, you won't be able to pass Cameron, it looks like.
No, he just got passed by Cameron. He doesn't have the pace of the Jones VW badged Bentley engine. As I believe Taki's just made it past Zidane for 7th place. So So Zidane on the last lap had a 1 minute 40.4. Lawn on that previous lap, 1:41.9. That's not going to get it done. I do think it.
Maybe use Taki to try to pull away a bit, since the Scorpio hasn't been like overwhelmingly faster than the mid-powered cars. Maybe he's right.
I mean, it seems plenty fast down the straight there. Like previous lap for Taki, there was 1:38.4. That's 2 seconds quicker than what Zidane was doing. There's really no comparison in pace between the two. No, I was more looking at Zidane versus Lon here, and Lon running about a second and a half slower, despite the fact he's still on relatively fresh tires. I know Zidane pitted, I think, a lap or two later. But, yeah, it does look like Zidane has it covered in the battle between himself and Kaelon.
Well, Kazama now is coming up to lap these two, so I'll shake things up for them. Kazama is chasing, No, never mind.
No.
I'm right. Kazama's still a ways behind McFry.
Yeah, McFry and Dagnall still need to pit again. She's on course to cycle back and into third place. Ooh, Summers there going way wide around that corner, but manages to hold it on the black stuff. Yeah, and that is Kazama lapping Kaelon. 1:40.7 on that previous lap by Lon. That was actually a couple tenths quicker than Zidane, but he's going to need to be a bit quicker than that in order to close the gap between himself and the Mecha. It's 4.3
He's got like
seconds
24 laps. They got 24 laps to do it, so...
Oh no,
Phillippe
Nicolas! Phillippe Nicolas is out of the race! Sudden transmission failure on the holiday.
This was their chance to like pass Bock in the standings. It looks like it's gonna go up in smoke.
No, Nicolas is the championship leader. But he could well lose it now with Bock still running, despite the issues that Yaël Bock has been having in this race. He still looks like he will be able to, at the very least, gain points, if not retake the title lead. Major championship implications here.
Well, Bock will probably want to do better than 6 if they want to get back the title, the championship league.
Actually, let me have a quick look now and see if I can bring up the championship standings. Because Nicolas did have a bit of a lead over Bock coming into this race, following Bock's retirement at Girona.
Well, position. I think a finish like that would be enough to just get back in the title league.
So yeah, 16 points was the advantage that Nicolas had. Now, I do believe that Bock. Bock should have at this stage the third quickest lap. So,
6th place is 40 points, so right now I think he's back in the lead for the championship.
42, and Nicolas will go down to about 15th. Now, Bock also has the 2 bonus points for the third fastest lap currently, so he's on 44. That will put him on 148, and Nicolas will drop down to 15th, which is 22 points.
That's enough.
Yeah, Bock will take the lead by 6 points as things currently stand.
I mean, it's still early in the season, but I think try to get as many points as you can in this attritional early phase of the champion.
Absolutely. Finishing is absolutely paramount, especially for these high-powered i3 turbos. So, with Nicolas' retirement, Holm now has a full minute and 7-second lead over Bradley Dagnall. Now, Dagnall still needs to pit, of course, as does Martin McFry, who is closed right up to the back of the Euromotor. And that should put Tomo Kazama up into 2nd place once they both pit. Indeed, there goes Dagnall into the pits, looking to get the tire advantage on the undercut, whereas McFry is hoping that the low fuel will play to his advantage here. A short final stint for Bradley Dagnall here. Should be coming back out onto the track in 4th position. And he does have a bit of clear air to work with here to try and put in a couple quick laps and maintain position over McFry. This is a battle for a podium now with Nicolas' retirement.
The Bock's like a full sector behind. I don't think you can...
Oh yeah, the Bock's not really a threat to anybody ahead of him at this stage.
Yeah, at least trying his best, but I think he's the best he's gonna go for is 5th if no one else retires.
Yeah, for De Bock, it's a question of keeping it on the track and taking care of his equipment for these final 12 laps.
So after spinning twice, let's say he's gotten his probably the best he could get.
Yeah. Taki's close to pitting at this stage. He's opened up an 8-second gap over Malik Zidane since passing him. I'm still not sure he'll be able to pit and then catch and pass the neck again, but he could potentially hold on to the position ahead of Long. This is Tomo Kazama, who will inherit 2nd place once McFry pits. Now a minute and 18 seconds behind our race leader, Edvard Holm. Just goes to show the magnitude of the dominance Holm has had, even though, you know, that gap is... Oh goodness, Malik Zidane has spun! Malik Zidane has spun!
Does he have damage? No?
No damage on the mecha, but this is... tragic for Mecha, who desperately need these points. It goes Malish through into,
backing up.
Wait, no, this is Malish coming up now. Zidane needs to get this car righted. He's probably lost the position to Taki here, and he has to wait. He has to wait for Malish to go through, so that is another position for Fastlane Malish. And Cameron is coming in... closing in, but Zidane will get going again in 9th place.
At least he learned his lesson from last year, where I think he lost like a full 2 laps from a spin like that.
Yes.
And the car doesn't seem to have damage, so perhaps he has learned his lesson after a pretty harrowing 2024 season.
Indeed.
We now have 10 laps to go. Field are still somewhat clustered in places.
Indeed. Nathanael Cameron has spun at the chicane! He does a full 360
right in front of,
keep it
looked
going.
like right in front of, probably spooked the De Bock there.
Yeah, indeed, that was not what Yaël De Bock would be wanting to see, is a spinning Jones rejoining right ahead of him, but fortunately, Cameron caught that spin very nicely. Oh! Not sure exactly what happened there. Might have got back on the throttle too quickly. But,
Bock
nice
wanting
save
to
there
get
by
past
Cameron.
this car as fast as possible after seeing that.
Of course, that was important for him to hold on to that because, well, actually, no, because Cara still needs to pit. So he's still locked into 10th regardless, but probably isn't going to be any threat to Zidane to take 9th. Taki's now opened up an 18-second gap over Alonso. He might well be able to hang on to 6th at the very least if he can finish his McFry.
This is McFry finally makes his pit stop. Looks like he'll be going for a shorter stint.
Yeah, very short final stint for Martin McFry here. I think he's hoping that the tires, that there's enough, Bradley Dagnall has used up enough of his tires so that he can retake that 3rd place. So I believe Kazama's gone through. Dagnall will come through now. No, McFry has jumped in the pit. Sensational few laps there by Martin McFry on the old tires.
Yeah, let's see if he can make that thing a rocket to catch Kazama.
I don't imagine so. It's going to be a bit of a tall order to catch up to Tomo Kazama at this stage.
At least you don't have to worry about at least he has that cushion now being right ahead.
Yes, and fresh tires, and they'll be on similar fuel load, so you have to say advantage with Fry is Cara now makes
Cara
his
also
pit
makes
stop.
his final pit.
We'll see how he comes out relative to Gautier and Yamamura. I believe he'll come out in the middle of them. Well, I'm not sure here. That was a good service there by the Yangwang crew, and Cara will hang on to 11th place here. The question is, does Amy Gautier have enough left in her tires to hunt down and pass the Yangwang as Taki comes in now to make his final pit stop? I expect he'll come back out in 7th. Behind K1, but they're not too far behind and could have a good shot of retaking 6th place.
There's got 2 cars coming up.
Yeah, there goes Lon. There's Lon right on his outside. And Taki,
he holds it. He cuts. He stuck it.
And Lon there had to get out of the way as well for Edvard Holm, who's just lapping him there. Now, Holm will want to put Taki 2 laps down at this stage. Really been a fantastic drive all day long by Edvard Holm. I'd say it was untroubled, but he did lose the lead early on to Phillippe Nicolas. And in fact, Tomo Kazama dropped behind both of them off the start, forced his way back past Kazama at the first corner, and then quickly retook the lead from Nicolas, and the race has been in his hands ever since. We'll just see now what kind of lap times McFry and Dagnall are putting up in their little battle for 3rd. This is McFry's first flying lap on these tires, 1:38.1. Dagnall a couple tenths slower. I wouldn't say it's over per se, but it's time is running out. We've only got about 7 laps to go. Potentially less if Holm laps them. Miles there looking pretty safe in 8th place following Zidane's spin.
So far, seems to be pulling away despite the power disadvantage. Seems to be punching above his weight in the Yangwang.
We'll see how he does on this first flying lap. There's a personal best, a 1:39.8. Excellent lap by Cara there. Yeah, Gautier just has nothing left in her tires, it seems. So it does look like Cara will be able to hang on to 11th here. Try continuing to just build that gap little by little over Bradley Dagnall, looking to take that podium that probably should have had back in Yorama if it wasn't for that for the mechanical failure on his car. This is Dagnall coming under threat, in fact, from Takuma Taki. Who's trying to unlap himself from the Euromotor, and does. I mean, some might call that a bit of an unsporting move from the reigning world champion, but I think if you've watched ARWS over the last year or so, that is very much the type of driver Takuma Taki is. He's never seen a driver he did not want to pass, or you know, lacking any better words, screw with.
Needs to have settled down for these last few laps, so.
Ooh, and Taki outbrakes himself into the first corner there. Dagnall has to slap him on the brakes to avoid getting into the back of Yamamura there. Kazama's off! Oh no, Tomo Kazama! It's been a brilliant drive for the Japanese, but she has been eliminated with only about 5 laps to go with a transmission failure. It's a double DNF for Holiday and a major blow to them when they were looking at a fantastic haul in the Constructors' Championship. McFry will take over second place here. Bradley Dagnall will inherit third. This will promote Yaël to Bock up into 4th place, Taki into 5th. On will be taking over 6th, Malish 7th, Zidane 8th, Cameron 9th, Cara 10th, Gautier 11th, and Yamamura 12th, and Aurora Summers 13th.
Hope Summers ain't too many laps down.
I don't think she is. I think she's at most like 4 laps down. 3 laps down currently, so yeah, so she should be able to... Oh no!
Heartbreak for it again for the Danish driver.
Edvard Holm with a puncture on the left front tire. He could not get it back to the pits. Oh my goodness. And rightfully so, Edvard Holm gets out.
Meaning that he probably lost steering.
Gets out of the car, and he's just got his head in his hands at the side of the track. Oh my goodness. What can you say? He's driven perfectly today. And once again, Edvard Holm will not be getting any kind of a reward. And now we're going to have to wait for a little while here. Martin McFly has to unlap himself first, if he hasn't already. I think he has now at this point.
Yeah, our top three now is McFry, Dagnall, and so him pulling away became pretty important since that decided the race. So could decide the race winner. Afterwards, this Tacky trying to get past him. He clears a faster car.
Yes.
Probably not what he wants to see.
This could actually be important because Taki wants to get back. This would put Taki back on the lead lap, and indeed, McFly doesn't put up a fight as he now has the race lead by just about 4 seconds over Bradley Dagnall. Can he hold on, though? That, allowing, Taki through there did cost him about a second to Dagnall. He has had the pace advantage over the Euromotor since their pit stops. As Yaël de Bock is out! It's one after another!
Just a week to race weekend to forget for the two title contenders in the Constructors' Championship.
Indeed.
This is a mercy kill.
None of their drivers are going to finish the race. Neither Holiday nor the Multimatic Grant.
We're going to get a Martin McFly race win in the year of our Lord 2020.
And it looks like even after everything, Tacky's going to get a podium. It looks like.
Well, this will be McFly's third win. It's not that improbable. He did win twice in 23 with the Koenigsegg engines in the back. Put up, I'd say, rather underrated year last year with the Mugen Hondas. Now Foxdale switched back to the Koenigsegg's, and McFly right back to really showing everyone that he's should be considered among the elite of the ARWS at this stage, I'd say.
But considering their switch from the low-powered engines to the high-powered Koenigsegg's, you think they would have needed that throw him for a loop for a bit, but looks like McFry's taking it in stride.
So Dagnall in second now. Taki on course for a podium, perhaps the most undeserved podium I've seen in quite a while. He probably would have won this race if he hadn't spent a lap making sandcastles at the Dunlop here. Kalon moves up into 4th place. Václav Malish will take over 5th. Here comes Malik Zidane, he will take 6th.
I mean, if this holds, that'll be a good haul for Mecca. At least we should one. This will probably scramble much of the middle parts of the Drivers' Championship. A lot of drivers that did pretty badly last couple races.
It is very early days. This is only the 3rd race of the season, so there's a lot of scrambling to do before we find the order of things, shall we say. Cameron into 7th, Cara to 8th. Amy Gauthier will take 9th place after probably one of the most uninspired drives I've ever seen out of her. And speaking of uninspired drives, Akira Yamamura will move up into 10th.
That's a bit alarming. They were not they were not a threat to Cara all race because I could. Saki laps Gauthier.
Yes. Yeah, in fact, Cara's been pulling away from Gauthier since the pit stop here. We've got 11 cars still running at this stage.
his final laps, McFry. Hopefully, this is the last car he has to lap. He doesn't need to go after Taki.
No, Taki's pulling away, you can see. Yeah, he's probably not going to catch Cara before by the end of the race.
He doesn't need to. He already is like nearly a full lap ahead. Just make sure that car gets to the finish.
Well, no, he does still need to keep pushing because Dagnall's only 4 seconds behind. I know McFry has a pace advantage, but
yeah, I think it's a bit. I think Dagnall's a bit far away.
Mistake here.
Yeah, he needs to. McFry will have to make a mistake here. I don't think Dagnall's catching him quickly enough to make a last lap attempt for the lead.
2 laps to go now for Martin McFry.
With this lap. So it's 37.8, 37.9, and he was at 38.6.
So yeah, Dagnall I think isn't really pushing to catch McFry. He's just pushing to stay in range if McFry makes a mistake.
That's his only hope now for the win.
Yeah.
As McFry starts the final lap.
Just needs to make it back around one more time, and he'll have notched his 3rd career win in ARWS. And it'll more than make up for that podium he lost in Yarama last time out. He's opened up the gap to almost 6 seconds over Dagnall. Dagnall's not a threat. The only issue for McFry is making it around this course and not encountering any issues, which has been a significant problem for most of the field, I think. I think the only drivers who haven't put, who's still running, who haven't put a wheel wrong are Lon, Malish, and arguably Yamamura, but Yamamura's been so far off the pace that you'd expect of them that, I struggle to say this is a faultless drive from them.
Coming through, it looks like he may have to pass Cara here, but
I don't think it's entirely necessary. I'm in any case,
coming down the coming up the hill.
It's lap 1, turn 1. He lost his rear wing, but through just getting his head down and getting on with it, well, everything went wrong for those ahead of him. Martin McFry has won the Luxembourg Grand Prix. Bradley Dagnall will finish 2nd. For Euromotor, that will be a just reward after Yoncher probably would have won this race if he hadn't retired. Amy Gauthier will bring it home 9th. Disappointing considering the level of retirements, but it's more solid points for her and for Checkmate. Yamamura will bring it over the line in 10th. Kalon will finally reignite his championship hopes with a 4th place here, potentially. If he deems that enough to be sticking around in ARWS. Václav Malish will bring home a well-deserved 5th place finish.
I believe the checkmates are the ones who get both their cars across the finish line, I think. And then
Zidane gets the first finish for Mecca this year with a 6th place finish. Very well deserved for Zidane, even despite that spin. Nathanael Cameron will take 7th place. That's his third 7th place finish. It didn't look like it was going to be the case at the start of the race, but retirements have come to his rescue in that regard. Aurora Summers brings it home in 11th. Takuma Taki completes the podium with the most undeserved podium I've seen in my life. And Alberto Cara finishes the runners in 8th. And behind them, Edvard Holm, Yaël, Bock, Tomo Kazama all remain classified finishers. Some of the best, well, I mean, for my money, Holm and Kazama were two of the best drivers in the field today, but sadly their cars didn't agree. Nicolas, Saint Laurent, Goncher, Vozu, Shinjo, Fuen, Fleet, May, Griffith, Pacer, Burrell, and Kickert, all with reliability issues. Well, for May, Griffith, and Kickert, it was a case of crashing. And Martin McFry bags the maximum points on offer, in fact, today with that fastest lap. Edvard Holm with the 2nd quickest lap, some small consolation, and Tomo Kazama with the 3rd quickest lap by the end of the race. As we see the Adriaticos right at the bottom of the fastest lap charts, there are some issues with their car for this year. They may want to be looking at that. That's very disheartening to be seeing them behind.
They seem well behind even like the Yongwang and Peak Motorsport.
I mean, Burrell had the transmission failure very early in her stint, but Yamamura's pace has been, quite frankly, atrocious, I have to say. Very disappointing from them. But for now, that is it from us at the ARWS. We will see you next time out at Portland. See you there.